My name is Mike Pfeiffer. I've helped hundreds of hardworking people lose weight, feel better, and get stronger. And today I'm going to teach you the real math of weight loss. So a lot of times when it comes to weight loss, you'll hear a lot about macronutrients and calculating your carbs, your proteins, and fats. And that stuff can be important, but that's a little more granular. That's a little harder for, let's say, your average person to just go ahead and take action to do. That's how I do it, and I've done that for a lot of clients in the past. But I wanted to drill down the main things that really are the biggest movers for people that are trying to lose weight. And this isn't for the person who's trying to go from 12% body fat to 6% body fat. This is for the person that's trying to lose, 50 pounds. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 50, but if you're trying to lose 20 plus pounds, these levers that I'm going to teach you are going to do a lot more for that than any of the macro counting stuff. You need to kind of get some of this stuff in play first. And then when you want to fine tune later, you can get into the macro balance. So essentially, if you want to lose weight, and for the sake of this example, we're going to say 50 pounds, right? A nice clean number. You got to kind of have a timeline for that. So how long that's going to take is going to depend on what you're willing to add to your daily activities or your daily lifestyle and what you're willing to subtract. So when I'm referring to the real math of weight loss on this, we're going to add and subtract different things to your lifestyle that are going to have the biggest amounts of change for your weight. All right. So first, we got to decide, what will you add? So when you go to adding, these are the 5 things. I try to make it 5 just to make it simple, right? So you have easy actionable items. I could put 1,000 things up here that could all, make it help or help you get closer to that. But I just want the things that are going to be the biggest movers for you. So we got body weight in ounces of water. So that means that throughout the day, you're going to have whatever your body weight is. You could do your ideal body weight as well, but you want to get that many ounces of water per day. So if you're 160 pounds, then you would want 160 ounces of water a day. A lot of people that aren't used to drinking that level of water, that sounds like a lot, 160 ounces, right? But let's say you're asleep for 8 hours, you're awake for 16 hours, it's 10 ounces an hour. That's really not that much if you think about 10 ounces. I don't have a cup with me, but 10 ounces of water, 8 ounces is your typical cup that you measure. You spread that out over the whole day, that's really not that bad. So just think every hour, you have a cup of water, all right? So that, if you were to do that one thing, you add that to your lifestyle, then per month, which my handwriting sucks, I'm sorry about that, but per month is kind of how we're looking at this. We're gonna subtract 1 pound, okay? So if you were to add in body weight in ounces of water, that would add or subtract 1 pound from your 50 pounds per month, right? This isn't perfect math, this is just an illustrative point. So the second one you got is 25 grams of protein per meal. So protein comes in a lot of things. A lot of people hear protein and they think protein shakes, protein bars, et cetera, et cetera. Those are definitely options that you can use, but lots of things have protein. Black beans have proteins, lentils have proteins, rice even has a little bit of protein, some vegetables have a little bit of protein. So you just want to accumulate 25 grams of protein in a meal. So that doesn't mean that all needs to come from meat or all needs to come from some kind of protein source. If you're vegetarian or vegan, there's plenty of things you can do with that. Nuts can work for that, eggs, like I said, lentils, legumes, all that kind of stuff. All of that will add up to protein. And if you do 25 grams of protein per meal for all your meals, unless you're eating like 9 meals a day, which would be kind of strange, but 3-4 meals a day, kind of the average, then it's going to be another subtraction of a pound per week or per month, right? Another big one, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. There are a lot of reasons why that comes into play. A lot of it has to do with hormonal regulation, your recovery overnight, and kind of the process of your metabolism and all of that. So a lot to get into for this video, but you will essentially just operate so much more efficiently. Your hormones will operate so much better, your thyroid will operate so much better, so you burn more calories all the time, and your body becomes a more efficient machine at burning fuel. So this all translates into helping you losing weight. So that's another, right? 1 pound per week. This one here, you got 30 minutes of exercise, 3+ times per week. So that means at least 30 minutes and at least 3 times per week. So this is another lever you can pull to help get that weight loss. Any kind of activity you add is going to help move this needle, but if you really want to take a big step and really try to lose weight a little more rapidly, then you're going to need to do this, depending on your current level, this is quite a big jump, right? So you may have to go from doing 0 to 30 minutes. that can be a big jump, right? So maybe you don't make that huge leap right away, but you're gonna need to do that at least 3 times a week if you want this part of the equation to equal that -1 pound per week, okay? And then the last one here, 3 to 5 servings of veggies. This is per day, right? So there's, all of these, you know, are per day, except for this one. This one kind of extrapolates out for the week. 3 to 5 servings of veggies per day. And that's going to be another one to get you 1 pound. And if you were more from the macro side of this, you might wonder, like, how's that going to translate into helping me lose weight? The primary way that it does, aside from just nutrient density and getting a lot of vitamins and minerals out of those vegetables, this is your filler food. So when we go into the subtraction part, you might be more hungry. You might be needing more fuel, or at least feeling like you're needing more fuel because you're not consuming as much volume of food or as dense calories that you're used to. So this is your filler. So this helps you really not feel quite as hungry. So you stack these up in your meals. You know, if you combine these two, your 25 grams of protein per meal and your 3 to 5 servings of veggies, and you bump those in each meal, you're going to be really full. You're not going to be that hungry. The problem is you eat a lot of these cheap carbohydrates and things that are really processed and don't fill you up very much, and you get hungrier. Like, there's a great book called Sugar, Salt, Fat that kind of goes into all this process of how they made chips and different things to make you crave more, not fill you up and give you a lot of calories. But if you're filling up on these things, you're not going to consume a lot of calories, but you're going to be plenty full. So, like, you know, let's highlight those big time. All right, so we covered all the stuff that you need to add to your day, right, in order to get towards this 50 pounds. And then per month, right, we've added 5 pounds of weight loss that you could lever. So -5 pounds, right? So now we got to talk about the things you got to take away from your life, right? And I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you what's good or bad, what's morally right or wrong. Like, I don't care about that. But these are the things that are going to have the biggest impact on your health and your ultimate goal of losing weight, right? So alcohol is number 1. So -1 pound, if you can, in this instance that we're talking, is eliminate alcohol completely. Now, this 1 pound, if you don't drink right now, then this isn't going to do anything for you, right? You're already hitting the status quo of what you're trying to do for the weight loss. If you have 1 or 2 drinks a month, okay, this one's not really going to make a big difference. But if you're someone who drinks, you know, heavy on the weekends and maybe has a couple drinks after work every now and then, or 1 drink a night, right? Removing that not only is going to remove a lot of calories, but the way that alcohol affects your hormones and your ability to recover and your testosterone and your metabolism and all that stuff, like, removing this is going to be a big boon to you trying to lose weight. And this is what a lot of people struggle with, right? So we got alcohol, then we got snacks and soda. I combine those because soda is kind of a junk food, a snack food in that sense. There are healthy sodas and alternatives. Poppy comes to mind just as a quick example. Bai drinks are, you know, really good, low calorie, have options. So there are options for that. But in a general sense, if it's got aspartame or if it's got calories, coming liquid calories in that sense, you want to eliminate it. And then snacks, going back to what I talked about earlier with that sugar, salt, fat combination that makes you want to eat more and not be full and consume a lot of calories, right? Eliminating those are a big one. And again, just like I said in the alcohol scenario, if you don't snack already and you don't drink soda, then awesome. You're already ahead of a lot of the population. So this one may not move the lever, but if this is a weakness for you, then that's going to be one you're going to need to lose another pound a month. All right, so the next one that I would put right up there with alcohol, as far as a struggle for people and one that's going to move the lever the most for most of the population, is eating out. And when I say eating out, I mean fast casual stuff, so your Chipotle, your Moe's. I don't eat it. So like that Subway, I guess, would qualify as that. I don't eat out that way personally very often, so I'm not familiar with all the examples, but eating out includes the fast casual. If you order in from lunch, if you use DoorDash to bring stuff to your house, trying to eliminate that. And then eating out at restaurants, obviously. Restaurants are a big one. I have a really good math exercise I like to do with how to plan for eating out if you're going to do it. We have special events, special occasions, right? So it's going to come up. But if you really want to lose weight, and it's not something you have to do forever, but if you really want to move the needle on losing weight, then this one's got to go, right? And again, pick which one of these are going to be the biggest lever for you and make the most impact on your life, or the one that you consume the most or struggle with the most, right? Because that's probably going to have the biggest impact on your ability to lose weight. So choose the one that you think is going to make the biggest impact on what goal you're trying to achieve. Right, so eating out, so taking away those nice dinners. And again, like I said with the alcohol, if you go out to eat once a month, okay, this one's probably not going to have a huge impact. But if you go out to eat, every weekend, multiple meals on the weekend, or you're dining in a lot or going out for lunch a lot, then this is going to be a big one, and you're really going to need to eliminate that one to make this work. All right, desserts and sweets. So these two often correlate, right? So if you eat out a lot, you end up consuming a lot of dessert, unless you're like me and you're just hardcore no dessert person. But these two, again, it comes to calories, obviously, but it also has to do with hormonal reasons and how it affects your blood sugar and your insulin levels and stuff. Plays a lot of havoc on your system and causes you to retain more fat. So eliminating this one, right, we've now added another pound. And then staying up late. Now, if you have a job that requires you to stay up late, then that's a different story. But think of it as staying up later than you need to in order to achieve this 7 to 9 hours of sleep, right? So if you have a lifestyle where you can go to bed at midnight and you can sleep until 7, 8, 9 o'clock, then great. Staying up late is relative, right? So for me, I get up between 2 and 4 a.m., so I try to be in bed by 7 o'clock so I can get this number here. But that's going to be, different person to person. But eliminate your thing that is causing you to not get this 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I don't know what I did with my B there. We'll modify that. So staying up late, and again, trying to remove it and making sure that you can get to this one, right? So if you were to add all these things, then you get, plus 5 pounds, or negative because you're removing it. And then same thing here, right? We got 5 things, so you're going to lose 5 pounds. And in theory, per month, you could lose 10 pounds. Now my chalkboard's looking a little crazy here. So if you were to add all 5 of these, then now you're losing 5 pounds per month. And then if you were to subtract all of these, you would lose 5 pounds per month, right? So then you got a net of negative 10 pounds. And then this 50, right? 5 months. Right, it's nice, easy math. The math's not always this clean, right? I'm just doing this for illustration purposes, but 50 pounds is a lot, right? So for you, if you got 10 pounds, you got 20 pounds, then hey, you do all of these things, 2 months, boom, you're done. And then once you get the large portion off, then you can come to me or come to a coach and get the macronutrient breakdown or fine tune things and figure out, where your weak points are or really take it to the next level. But this is what's going to help the vast majority of people take that initial stab at losing a bunch of the weight they want to lose. And then, like I mentioned earlier, pick the one that you think is the most challenging or adding the most, we'll say, calories to your life or most disruption to your ability to lose weight, and start with that one. Now, you can make the argument for the other side of that says pick which one's the easiest one, right? So if you're sleeping, 6 to 7 hours a night, then you could do that, and that would, be an easy one to just add that little extra hour, which is great, but that's not going to have the biggest impact onto this goal, especially if it's already close to that. So my suggestion is to pick the biggest one of these that's going to make the biggest impact towards this goal, and then everything else can kind of cascade from there, because they're all going to improve each other, because this is going to improve your sleep and your hormone balance. This is going to improve your insulin balance, which is going to help you lose weight. This is going to help you sleep better because you're not going out as late, you're not disrupting your food pattern and your nocturnal pattern. And this one, again, hormonal, insulin, blood sugar stuff, that's going to help you burn more fat because your blood sugar is more stable. So they all stack towards each other. And again, there's a lot of things you can do, but I wanted to drill down for you guys the 5 most important ones that I think are going to have the biggest impact and are going to make the most sense for the majority, largest majority of people. So back to the start of this video, the real math of weight loss is adding or subtracting these 5 things into your lifestyle every day, in the case of exercise, every week, and then deciding, how many are you going to add, how many are you going to subtract, how much weight do you want to lose, and that's going to determine your timeline, right? So if you did all of them, that 50 pounds is 5 months. But if you just did one of them, then you might lose 1 pound a month, right? If you just removed alcohol and you want to lose 50 pounds and you only remove alcohol, right, that's going to be 50 months. So you can see how it can take a lot of time. Even if you improve your behavior, it's still going to take a while to do that unless you're consuming 8 drinks a night, then it's a lot of calories, right? And then you'll have a bigger impact. But you get the idea. So just think what your goal is, think what your timeline is, and then extrapolate from there how much you're willing to do, how much you're willing to take away, What are you willing to add to help get to that timeline? All right. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to the next one.